Celebrities, eh? Sometimes fascinating, mostly ludicrous. They've got fame, fortune, zombie diets, children named after inanimate objects, and forever surgically altering their faces just to keep us entertained.
He's a nutcase.
But when it comes to encounters with UFOs, or UAPs if you're up on your acronyms, some stars have gone far beyond the usual gossip headlines. Now you might be thinking, really? Celebrities seeing flying saucers and little green men? Yeah, really? So in this video you'll hear it straight from the overprivileged, hedonistic mouths of the stars themselves, as they recount their encounters with the unexplained.
He's nuts.
With the odd bit of UFO footage amongst it all as well. So grab a bit of popcorn and we'll blast off into the curious world of alien encounters, Celebrity Botox edition.
He's nuts.
What are the weird, strange things that people are interested in?
UFOs.
Yes. I think he's saying UFOs. UFO.
Go straight away.
You believe in UFOs, don't you?
Yeah, I do, yeah, I've seen them.
What did you see when you saw them?
Well, I see a fucking UFO, didn't I? I don't know what it was, but it was flying about. It wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't a plane, it was a UFO.
Could have been a kite?
Might have been a kite. I went and see a geezer called Stan Romanick, and he's been abducted since he was a kid, and he showed me some mad shit, right? But he showed me an alien poking his head through a window. That one was in his kitchen, this one, it's got in. See its fingers come around the door frame, right long fingers.
Right.
They come in, and then it's got a massive nut, this one. No, it didn't say fuck off, just looked at him. I'm gonna fuck off home, I think.
That's a bright one. See it? If you look through it up there, straight ahead. There was a laser point.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, get on that.
Got him.
Is that one?
I got him, yeah. That is, I got him.
Is that it?
That's it. Hey guys, check it out.
Fucking hell, that's massive, isn't it? Where's it going?
What was that?
Whoa.
Do a line?
Nah, I didn't do a line, just massive flash.
That's the big flash that kind of like line, huh?
Yeah, look, there's again, there it goes.
Does you see more?
I've seen about 4 or 5, I can't believe it.
Not too bad. The mountain action, the sky.
Don't know what to do with myself. Wow. I've done it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable, isn't it? That is a fucking UFO. That is a fucking UFO.
So I did it. I saw an unidentified flying object. Now I know you cynics out there are going to say it was a meteor, it was a space station, it was a satellite, you know, but it was a UFO. And it was a magical experience. And no one can take that away from me.
What is that?
That ain't no fucking plane, you asshole.
No fucking plane, Santa Claus. It's a plane. Yo, it's moving.
It's going back and forth.
Over here, up there, I saw a UFO, and it went down the river, turned right at the United Nations, turned left, and then down the river. It wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't a balloon, and it was so near.
And it looked what, sort of round, white,
just
luminescent, and silent.
Silent, and it looked dark, like black or grey in the middle, and had white lights, just looked like light bulbs, you know? Just going off, on, off, on, off, on, blink, 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 round the bottom, and on top was a red light.
President Barack Obama talks UFOs with talk show host James Corden.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory. And so, you know, I think that people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is.
Mr. Obama says UFOs were actually one of the first things he asked about after taking office, but he did not say whether he thought UFOs were alien in origin. Congress will be briefed next month on recent sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena in U.S. airspace.
place that only in Arizona.
You know, behind the chocolate shop.
Everybody, a bunch of people filmed it. People filmed it, this fucking thing. But one thing is, this massive craft.
Like a giant marshmallow.
You couldn't hear a fucking thing from it. I'd love to meet an alien. No eyebrows and all this fucking...
There's a lorry load of interesting cheeses.
But they don't have spacesuits on when we go to the moon.
I'm afraid I was very, very drunk.
You want to tell me what that is?
Yeah, I was in Martha's Vineyard one night at 3 a.m, and I went out actually on the deck to relieve myself because I like to do that outside. No, I was just having a leak out there, and I saw these two objects at about 100,000 feet, glowing very brightly, flying all edge to edge, two discs, and very, very bright, just round and vividly bright. And so I called my wife out, and I called two other people that were sleeping in the house. I said, "Come out, you got to see this." And we watched as these things lazily sort of zigzagged across the sky at what must have been around 20,000 miles an hour. Wow. Now, I know that wasn't a planet. I know aircraft. I've been in an F-5 fighter plane. I've been simulator down the runway. I've been in a B-25. I know aviation. It was not, that. So that was the first one. And the second one was I was at my farm, and I was going out into town, going to dinner, and it was at night, and I saw this little red light moved along, and I'm like, that's got to be a helicopter. And I'm looking, and so I got a police bike, and it's got the Wig-Wags on it, the lights. So I turn them on, and just to kind of see if I can attract attention. And the thing comes right over, and about 700 feet above me, it shines a light on me. And I'm listening. I got to hear rotor wop. I got to hear rotor wash. I got to hear an engine here. I got to hear an engine. I hear no engine.
You heard that.
And that thing popped that light on me, really bright light. And I kind of looked at it, and then the light winked off, and the thing just floated really, really slowly away. Slower than a helicopter might have been going.
Stand by. Information to follow.
Why do I believe that UFOs? Well, the main reason is because they are. There is.
You've seen...
It really is. I don't care what these academic types say. They really don't know anything. But what did I see? Well, when I was 15, okay, I was a messenger boy for the post office, and I was going to work one morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and me and this kid who I didn't know, who was walking to the bus stop, it's just coming light, it's 7 o'clock, and we saw this thing going zigzag, zigzag across the sky, and then it started. And don't forget, this is way before all the psychedelic drugs and, and everything else. So, and then it stops, and then it starts zigzagging again, and stays there for a few seconds and then shot off. And I looked at this kid looked at me, we didn't say a word, and that was it.
And you believe fundamentally that it makes no sense that we would be the only creatures who have existed. There must be alien life forms.
Yeah, really, to be in the ever-expanding, massive, great universe that we're in the multiverse, and us being on our own.
What is this shit, bro? What the fuck is this shit? Why are they over a cemetery? Hey, y'all better get right with God, man. Y'all get right with God, bro.
You are. So when I was 14, maybe I was in my backyard playing basketball with some friends, and I looked up in the sky, and there was 3 flying saucers. Really? So this is Hollywood, and everyone was like, it's a movie set. And I was convinced it was real, and I looked up online, and there was 3 identical sightings in other states. Wow. And so I'm a firm believer in aliens.
Gotcha.
And terrestrial life.
Con el mío sí se alcanza a ver bien, güey. Ahorita se los paso.
Should I tell you one of my sightings? One of my sightings? So it was at least 19 years ago. And we were both on lounges looking up at the sky, and it was about 10:30 at night, and then all of a sudden and I was completely sober. All of a sudden, the size of 2 football boxes, penalty areas, flat, matte black underneath with these yellow lines, square, came in silently and slowly above me, and I was just staring at it, and I could have hit it with a tennis ball, and then it slowly went out again. Now, at the start of my loving all of this stuff, I was just like aliens, little green men. Now I've educated myself a little bit, and the first thing I thought when I saw this thing was, there's a bit of technology that I'm not supposed to see, that we're not supposed to know that they've got. And when I say they, I think that was probably ours, governmental or whatever. So I don't, these days, rush to little green men.
And where was this? Sorry, where did you see this?
Beverly Hills.
Okay, so what? That's what I'm saying.
What happens there?
Wow.
You know, there's something going on, Howard. I don't know what it is, but, you know, I've been touched in weird ways.
Were you visited by aliens as well?
Yeah, and I had a UFO experience, and that was in 67, 68.
And you weren't high or anything?
No, I didn't do drugs. I didn't even drink back then. They just randomly picked me, and I woke up while they were doing it. I'm going, what the fuck's going on? My room was white. I mean, it was like I couldn't see anything. It was a complete whiteout. I lay there, couldn't move. All of a sudden, they said, telepathy, this is done, you know, he's waking up or whatever, and they yelled a numerical code that was obviously, you know, like your passcode to get into your shit, you know? Yeah. And boom, it was almost like a wire in the air. And I woke up and it was black, and I was shaking and I couldn't move. No, it wasn't physical. It was from a distance. They programmed into me. They like, you know, they wireless. Do
you think they programmed that you would one day be the lead singer of a band?
No. I think that opened my mind. It was like a big acid trip, brother.
Another story involving you and your son that I want to ask you about, because I don't know the details on this story, but you guys saw a UFO. True?
Yeah, it is
in
true.
A plane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Goldie had an experience. She wrote about it in her book. But anyway, so she's not just a firm believer. She had an experience. So one time, Oliver, I was flying. It was in a time where I was kind of like I just a couple years earlier learned to fly. So I was still in a period in my life where any excuse to fly would do. He wanted to go to Phoenix to see a friend, and I said, sure, I'll fly there.
Oh, really?
So we're going into Phoenix, and I think it was Sky Harbor, and there's these bank of lights, 6 lights, in the shape of a triangle going back, right over the airport. And I'm looking at them as I'm coming in. I'm, you know, on the horn talking to them, and I'm coming in, and I'm not saying anything about it because I'm kind of confused by it, but I can't tell if this is going to be an issue or not with landing. And Oliver said, hey, Pa, what are those lights? And I said, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they are. And so anyway, I called up the tower and I said, what are you guys painting tonight over the airport? And they said, we're not showing anything. What are you seeing? I said, well, there's 6 lights in a row. And they said, do you want to report this? And I said, look, I can't identify it. It's flying and it's 6 objects. So that's what it is, right? Years later, I come home and Goldie's watching this show on UFOs. And the most reported one of all time was this one in Phoenix. And I start to see this show and I said, wait a minute. That's the night Ollie and I were landing in Phoenix. I remember that. And I said, wait a minute, I've got it in my logbook. So I went to my logbook and I didn't mention anything about the reporting the UFO, but my flight was logged. So I said, yeah, and on the show they talked about 20,000 people reporting it and only 1 general aviation pilot. And I said, that's me.
There has been another UFO sighting, this time by Russell Crowe. The Academy Award-winning actor has posted this video on YouTube. Well, What, that thing just appeared? Whoa. Whoa. According to the actor, the time-lapse footage shows a UFO flying over the Royal Botanic Gardens in Sydney, Australia. Crow joins a growing list of celebrity UFO witnesses that also include politicians like Jimmy Carter and Dennis Kucinich. And that brings us to tonight's number, 500. According to MUFON, the largest privately funded UFO research organization in the world, there are 500 UFO sightings in the world every month. But before you get too excited, let me remind you of something we first reported on June 5th of last year. About 95% of all reported UFOs end up being airplanes, weather balloons, planets, other meteorological phenomenon, or maybe even one of those light-up light sticks that Russell Crowe's appeared to be. I don't know. The truth is, though, it does leave about 5% that are unexplained. As I said in June, and I say again now, the truth is out there.
This height, Oliver's Castle, one of the most often debated observations, was made early one morning in 1996. A young man who had spent the night here and had brought a video camera with him was woken during early dawn by a humming sound.
Here I'm standing at Oliver's Castle at precisely the same spot as John Whaley was standing in August 1996, when he supposedly, for the first time in history, managed to film the creation of a crop circle.
That the crop circle was not here on the previous day but had appeared on the following morning was a fact.
I think if they're here, they're not going to let us. That's what I think.
I can't speak on anything, but just looking from past experience, and there's like drawings, like right. Even in the Mona Lisa, there's a weird thing or whatever in the background and shit. But it's getting pretty weird here.
The spike, they think, it's hard to tell because sometimes when people talk about UFOs, a bunch of other people hallucinate or lie. You get a bunch of nut cases who just want to tell crazy shit right. about being taken aboard spaceships.
One.
You've seen
I
a
never,
UFO?
Yeah.
What'd you see? What'd it look like?
I was probably 16. I was in upstate New York. I was looking out the window with my cousin, and it's just a light that just stays there and then just fucking goes off. You can't explain it. It sounds corny, but like a classic force field. Whenever you think of a force field, and it just kind of goes like this, and it's kind of like a dome in a circular shape, and it just goes like this and goes back in.
Whoa.
In Tarzana. Looking down at the fucking city, and I'm like, how did no one else see this?
They might have.
But I was there with fucking 4 other people, and they saw it too.
On the ground, again, estimates as being as high as 10,000 feet right now as it travels pretty quickly through the skies of Colorado. We don't have any information as to whether there is.
Ma, you see this?
No. Holy shit! What the hell is that?
What is happening? You guys see this? What the hell? What is that, Mom? What? Ma, you see this?
No.
Alien encounter. So tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was in 2009, and I was in our garden with my husband and a girlfriend of mine called Edwina, and we saw some helicopters and a bright light come towards us from the southwest. And so we looked, of course, expecting to see maybe they were after someone, maybe that person was coming running up the garden. That didn't happen. The helicopters left, but I think that they were scrambled to try and find out what this thing was. Anyway, the helicopters went off. The light remained behind cloud in the sky. We went to investigate. Then the cloud, now someone took that photograph from Welland Garden City, and it got published in the Welland and Hatfield Times a few days after I saw it. And everyone thought I'd been on the Pinot Grigio and la 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 la. And I'm looking up and I'm seeing this thing, and then all of a sudden it moves from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. And so we're going, oh, okay. Then it went back to 11 o'clock. Hal was there, and he went running in to try and find something to film it. And meanwhile, we're thinking, well, is this going to last for 10 seconds? Is it going to last? It could finish any second. So I felt compelled to just watch what was going on. It has really inspired me a lot. I really believe what I saw was a UFO. It was, well, certainly it was a UFO, but I certainly think it wasn't of this planet. I believe they're here. I believe that they are here already, and they have been here for a long time. And, I think they've been keeping an eye on us for a long time. I think they're in despair right now with the way we treat each other and the planet. And so I think they're sort of like, they're kind of like having conferences. They're sitting around thinking, well, what are we going to do with this lot?
Oh shit, that's fucking crazy.
Yes. Well, yes, I've seen something I can't explain. The thing is, and this is kind of a paradox, something that appears a contradiction, but actually makes sense. And the paradox is, if you speak to most people, they'll say yes, they believe in aliens, and that's not crazy. People say, yeah, I believe there's aliens.
Yeah, there's
but
something.
If someone says they've actually got proof of aliens, people are like, so I had a strange experience, which I'm not lying about. Neither the other two of my friends.
Yes, because you were with friends, which I think is the crucial part of this story.
Well, I was driving in a car, and we were coming back from an away football game. There was three of us in the car, and we hit a traffic jam on the M1. And I was in the passenger seat, and I was just sort of looking out the window, you know, just beyond the hard shoulder. I don't know what it's called. I call it the green sleeve. And I was just sort of looking while we're going along, and suddenly I just saw this sort of bright light, like about the size of a dustbin lid, kind of made of light. And it was sort of swooping around, sort of like this, just sort of moving. And then it sort of went right up, and it had light coming off it in all directions. And this is about 7 o'clock, kind of late spring, early summer evening, so kind of dusk, period between sunset and darkness. And then suddenly it just went bam! And it just shot off like the fastest thing I've ever seen. And I sort of turned around to my mate Ben, and I mean I won't repeat because the language at this point was pretty strong. I said, did you see that? And he said, and then my friend Mick, who was in the back, just goes, did you? What? And we were looking at each other. It was just crazy, and we don't really talk about it that much. But when we do, it's quite spooky. We're like, remember that thing? We go.
These are nutcase.
I've been studying UFOs. Did you know there are UFOs out here flying around unidentified?
This would be the place for them, Southern California.
I'm serious. They sighted a bunch over Georgia. I've seen them at night. They have real photos of them, and the government and the people just completely seem like don't talk about it. But Mr. Harold Salkin, Washington, D.C., he's the head of the National UFO Bureau.
Right.
He brought me moving films. I actually have moving pictures of low saucers of great still objects coming into pictures that people took, and I'm just surprised that don't nobody talk more about it. Something they can...
Another great insight into the fight game. I'm just kidding. No, I read that. But did you read the thing last night on the news?
No.
That some physicists said there are probably several thousand satellite objects going around the United States, around the Earth, and sometimes they disintegrate and they come back into space.
Not 50 feet over the highway.
Well, it could. It's got to land somewhere.
No. They call it swamp gas and something they don't want. I don't know what it is, but I think I do. But there are actual saucers and objects coming within our atmosphere and flying around, and people got pictures. Everybody cite the same thing in every city, the red and blue and green lights. But the people, authorities completely brush it off as if to say we are mentally off. But I know it's right because I've been seeing it.
You know, why wouldn't they make contact?
They probably figure they can't get no sense out of the people here in this place.
We've never talked about that on the show. I didn't know you really believed in UFOs.
Actual photos. I have moving films.
Yeah, but Cat, they can, motion picture film, and you're smart enough to know that in still pictures they can phony those up.
These are not phony.
Ken, how do you feel about it? Believe they're flying saucers?
I'm an innocent bystander. Seriously, it's like a big bright star, and you see it moving, and it'll go up and disappear and get real small like a pinhead, and then it'll come back, and it'll shake, and then it might go over here, and it'll go over here. Seriously. I'm serious. I'm not.
Well, I know you're serious in your belief. I don't
this
happen
is not
to
my
believe in it
belief.
myself.
This is anybody who's got eyes. Belief.
My God, look at it. That's not a plane. That is wild. That's going way too fast. That's not. What's up with my camera? I had to go run in and get my camera. Nobody was gonna believe me.
So there you have it. Aliens, spaceships, and a lot of bewildered and blank-faced celebrities. A sprinkling of rock stars, actors, presidents and pop icons. What does it all mean? Well, that's up to you to decide. Maybe the truth really is out there. Whether you're a believer, a skeptic, or somewhere in between. One thing's for sure. When celebrities talk about aliens, it makes for some fairly entertaining stories. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more strange tales and mysteries, and let us know in the comments, what do you think of these celebrity UFO sightings? Until next time, keep watching the skies and keep an eye on the tabloids. Ta-ra!